Today, on Airstrip 1 for Kids, we present the inner working of the party.
War is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength.
Before, this world was not as great as we know it now. It was ran by people who were capitalists.
Ordinary people in this capitalistic system were oppressed. Multiple injustices were taking place and poverty was everywhere, worse than you can imagine it today. Except for the capitalists, a tiny number of people who owned most of the money. They lived in big, magnificent houses with many servants. Contrasting to the normal people, like you, who lived crammed around 10 people in a small room.
The people in power were like lords of the earth. They decided everything favorable for them. The everyday population were treated like slaves, lesser than human beings. They starved from their birth to their death, never having enough food to succumb to their needs. Some didn't even have shoes on their feet, working 12 hours a day.
Around the mid-1900s, INGSOC, previously known as the English Socialist Party, with Big Brother at its head, in favor of liberty and equality, wanted to resolve this injustice and make this a better world. That is the reasoning behind the revolution. We saved the people from this horrible ruling class.
Once in power, three classes were installed. The first group, the inner party, they represent 2% of the population, are the brains of the state. The second one, the outer party, who consists of 13% of the population, are the hands of the state. And finally, the proles, 85% of the population, are the working class. They were freed after the revolution. They are naturally inferior and to be treated like lower grades. They are of little importance and little intelligence. Proles, like animals, are free.
The organization and the operating of the party is possible because of 4 ministries. The first ministry is Mini-Troop, who is in charge of culture, such as entertainment, news, and history. Then there's education and the arts. The second one is Mini-Pax, which takes care of war. The third is Mini-Love, who is involved with the top police. And lastly, the Ministry of Plenty, which is concerned with the economy of Airstrip 1.
The world is now constructed of 3 states. The first one, our great Oceania, which consists of the Atlantic Islands, the Old America, Australia, and the South of Africa. Eurasia, which is made up of the north of Europe and Asiatic land, from the Old Portugal to the Bering Strait. And East Asia, which is composed of the Old China, the countries to its south, the Japanese islands, as well as Manchuria, Mongolia, and Tibet. We are currently at war with Eurasia, and we have always been, to expand our territories to make our magnificent Oceania bigger.
But we are also at war within Oceania. Some traitors oppose us in our current way of thinking. They are too weak to crime stop and are uncouth things. We will not tolerate them because they are the weak link to the party. Compared to you and me, thought criminals do not love Big Brother. Therefore, they are imposters. They need to be victims.
The principal enemy of the state, the most treacherous and dangerous, and the greatest thought criminal of them all is Emmanuel Goldstein. He, who you may have seen in the 2 Minutes of Hate, is guilty of all acts against the party, such as sabotage, blasphemy, and divergence. This man is despicable and stands for everything the party is against.
The think pool is there to protect us from these dangerous and unorthodox thinkers. But we still need your help. If you ever see or hear crime things, report it directly to your spy supervisor or call 1-800-MINI-LIVE. This ministry will then take care of them. You, amateur spies, are our greatest asset. But remember, kids, Big Brother is watching you.
To express our hatred towards these thought criminals and our geographical enemies, the party has organized a celebration, Hate Week. It takes place once every year and is of extreme importance. The preparations are initiated months in advance for this great festivity. It occurs during the summer. Speeches, lectures, military parades, and executions take place to increase the hatred towards the enemies of the state. Songs are created, banners are made, shows are put together. We encourage you to participate with great eagerness.
Also, the party puts in place the 2 Minutes of Hate, which is mandatory short film presented daily. This highly encouraged activity, such as Hate Week, permits the population to release the hatred we have against these vile enemies. Everybody comes together to watch this program on a telescreen. They report news about the enemies of our great and magnificent country. It shows all the terrible things that they put Oceania through.
That's it for today's episode, kids! Next time, on Airstrip 1, we will talk about the 3 traders, Jones, Aronson, and Rutherford.